This video is titled From Heaven and Back to Heaven. The title may seem odd to you since it is about an automobile trip from Kyiv, Ukraine to the Polish border and back. But I think you will understand if you watch the entire video. But first I'm going to switch to a computer-generated narration rather than my natural voice. It is so much easier and faster to do computer-generated voiceover. And it will be much easier and better for those of you who are not native American English speakers.
Now all I have to do is to type what I want to say and the computer does the rest. To explain, this was not a pleasant trip. There are, however, aspects of it that are both pleasant and will help you to understand why, despite everything, life in Ukraine is the closest to heaven that I have come in my long life. First, the reason for the trip. 4 years ago I bought a used car in Lithuania. Ukraine has a substantial tax on imported automobiles and there are no automobiles built in Ukraine. So cars were substantially more expensive here than in the EU. This is a Lithuanian license plate, LT rather than UA as it would be on a car registered in Ukraine. Because I am an American, a foreigner, it is perfectly legal for me to have a foreign car in Ukraine without paying the tax. However, there is one requirement, that I take the car outside Ukraine at least once a year. And I messed up, I procrastinated. Mainly because the car is old and has a lot of kilometers and problems. I did not know that it would be a problem for me to leave Ukraine without the car. It was a problem. I tried to go to Poland to a dance event 1 week after my annual crossing was due. I got stopped. Luckily the woman at the border, the customs official, was helpful and explained what I must do to avoid a $4,000 fine. Procrastination can be expensive and luckily, the car was in the shop so I could meet the requirements. Nevertheless, it was not easy and I could not have done it without the help of my friends. So on Sunday, November 5th, with all my necessary documents regarding the repair of the car, I started my trip to the border. Alone. Because my friend had war commitments and he could not come with me. And another friend is pregnant. And another friend is in Italy. And another friend is in Switzerland and others have to work on Monday. Even though I was alone, it should have been an easy trip. 9 hours each way to the closest border crossing. The online app that I checked on Saturday said there was only a 15-minute delay at the border. My car is repaired. What could go wrong? Well, a lot went wrong. I'll start with Ukrainian roads, of which this approaching bridge is a relatively mild example. This is the result of driving near Lutsk, Ukraine in the rain when it is already dark. I never saw the pothole because it was full of water. Changing the tire in the rain at 40 degrees Fahrenheit was not fun either. But there was a good part to this experience. Some Ukrainians helped me, and absolutely refused to take any money from me. This is typical in Ukraine, almost all the people are exceptionally good people. They deserve better than what the Biden administration has done to them and to Ukraine. It would take hours to explain why, but the relationship between the Polish government and the Ukrainian government has soured. The result was that I as an American could go back to Ukraine but my Lithuanian car could not. Not without a government form that I would have to go to Helm to get, a 90-minute drive. The customs official told me that the office was open 24 hours and it would be no problem. So off I went over country roads following Google Maps at 4 in the morning. I finally got to the office and the clerk refused and accused me of stealing the car. Until then the Polish officials had been polite, almost apologetic, they were only following regulations to the letter. But yeah, right, a 75-year-old American goes to Poland to steal a $3,000 car and take it to Ukraine. I told him to go have sexual relations with himself. Except I used a more vulgar vocabulary. 99% probable he wanted a bribe but I did not dare to offer it. I then found a nearby hotel and slept for a whole 3 hours. Max, until 11 a.m. checkout. It was an okay hotel, the price was good. Before the sleep my tank of energy was on fumes. The next morning I could think again and decided that crossing that Polish border was hopeless. But a year earlier I had crossed the border from both Slovakia and from Hungary. So the logical thing to do was to drive south and cross there. Luckily it was only a 7-hour drive according to Google Maps. Only. So off I went, and here is what Poland south of Lublin looks like. Note that I am driving slowly, the car steering was not right. Here are 4 pictures of a Polish rest stop on the highway. Never in my life have I seen such a clean and pristine country as Poland. It makes the USA, Ukraine and Italy look like garbage dump landfills. Slovakia is also pristine but a little more difficult to judge as there are so few people and buildings in Slovakia. There is however a totally magnificent 30-mile-long lake on a dammed-up river. One village of maybe 500 people. 0 cabins or homes on that lake outside that village. Amazing to an American, used to wall-to-wall cabins on every lake and pond. So anyway, I made it to the border near Uzhhorod, Ukraine about 8 p.m. 20 minutes later I had crossed the border into Ukraine. 0 issues with either Slovakian or Ukrainian customs. Home again, and I quickly found a nice hotel and slept 12 hours. I am titling this video as From Heaven to Hell and Back to Heaven. It is what it felt like. Not Ukraine or Poland, both are great countries with great people. Governments not so much. And I hope I never have to endure such a trip again. I am going to do another video of the drive back to Kyiv. Please look for it. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you will like it in YouTube. Please subscribe to me if you have not already done so.